Very good evening to all of you, and Honorary Deputy CM of Karnataka, Dr. Shiv Kumar ji, Member of Parliament, Shri Shashank Mani Tripathi ji, distinguished policy makers, fellow founders, industry leaders, valued IndiQube clients, members of media, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to welcome all of you to the Future of Work Summit. When we speak about the future of work, it often sounds like something distant. But the truth is that every person in this room has lived through one version of it already. A decade ago, work had a familiar rhythm. The office was the center of our professional lives. We traveled to work, met colleagues across tables, walked into meeting rooms, built relationships in corridors, and absorbed culture through everyday interactions. Work was not only what we did, it was where we went. Then, almost overnight, the definition changed. Work entered our homes. Dining tables became desks. Bedrooms became meeting rooms. Children, pets, doorbells, power cuts, and internet issues became part of our workday vocabulary. What started as a crisis response to a pandemic became one of the largest workplace experiments in history. And the experiment changed everything, something fundamentally. It changed how employees viewed flexibility, how companies viewed productivity, how leaders viewed trust, and how all of us viewed the role of office. From work from home, we moved into hybrid work, and with that came a new set of questions. How often should teams come together? What kind of work truly needs the office? What can be done from anywhere? And how do we build a culture when people are not always physically together? How do we measure performance when presence and productivity are no longer the same thing? At the same time, the conversation around talent also began to shift. We heard conversations around moonlighting, where employees explore multiple opportunities and organizations question loyalty. Today, in a more uncertain environment, the conversation has moved to job hugging. That's a new term, even for me, 6 months back, where people are holding on to jobs more carefully, but they are basically, in a way, not connected. The relationship between employer and employee is being redefined. And now another powerful force has entered the room, artificial intelligence, as all we know. For years, technology built the platforms, enabled digital transformations, and helped India strengthen its position in the global economy. These roles seemed almost invincible at one point of time. Today, many of these roles are being reimagined by AI. In just a few years, we have moved away from asking whether people can work from home to asking whether AI can replace them at work. And that is the speed of change we are dealing with. And all this has happened in the last 5 years itself. Along with this, if you look at the geopolitical environment, the macroeconomic uncertainties have influenced how companies work, think about location, supply chain, risk, talent, long-term growth. So when we discuss the future of work, we are not only discussing offices, we are discussing the future of enterprises, the future of talent, future of our cities, future of technology, and in many ways, the future of India's economic ambition. The last few years has taught us one important lesson. The future rarely arrives in a straight line. It is through disruption, through discomfort, through questions we are not always ready to answer. And often it arrives much faster than we expect. And this brings us to the next decade, that what will work look like in 2035? Will AI create more opportunity than it disrupt? Today already we are seeing, if you look at a lot of jobs we have in Bangalore, the delivery boys jobs and all that, or a driver from Bihar coming and being able to drive in Bangalore, it would not have been possible if technology would not have been there. So while we are talking about a lot of white-collar job disruption, there is an equal side of a lot of jobs will get created in the future. Will the offices become smarter, smaller, and more distributed? We all know the era of big fat campuses, which companies were having. I always say that my generation went where work was. But today, work is going where people are. So we are likely to see a lot more distributed, uniform presence of talent across the country. Will employees come to office for attendance, or will they come for experience, collaboration, learning, and culture? Will India's next phase of growth be led by our largest metros, or will the heart of Bharat become equally central to the workplace story? The honest answer is no one knows this with certainty. But perhaps the real question is not whether we can predict the future perfectly. I think the real question is whether we can design organizations, the workplaces, and ecosystems that help people do their best work in the world that is changing faster than ever. And that is where the convergence of work, workforce, and workplaces become very, very important. And for us at IndiQube, this convergence is very close to home. When Meghna and I sat down years ago to envision what would eventually become IndiQube, we were trying to solve the real gap in the market. Enterprises needed workspaces that were accessible, affordable, and they were consistent. Beyond the tech parks, if you look at Bangalore or you look at UB City kind of buildings 10 years back, you hardly found any consistent experience buildings over there. So I'm talking about a decade from where we are today. They needed space, they needed flexibility, they needed reliability. More than anything, they needed a platform where the employee experience was the center of the story. Because the workplace is not just real estate. It is where the ideas are born, where teams are built, the culture comes alive, where people find belonging, ambition, and purpose. Over the years, we had the privilege of building a workspace platform that manages close to 10 million square feet of office space across 17 cities. From traditional Indian enterprises to new age startups, we have over 40 unicorns and 300 plus GCCs. And from budding businesses to some of the largest Fortune 50 companies, we have stayed to our vision of creating workspaces for everyone. That has been the mantra that if it's a women-led startup with even 5 employees, we should be as welcoming to them as we are to a GCC. So workspaces for everyone. And that is where you see in Bangalore, we are not married to just a big tech park kind of a thing. We have lots of buildings in the heart of startup like Koramangala or HSR, which cater to a lot of fledgling startups over there. In that journey, our goal has not been only to create office spaces. It has been to take quality workspaces closer to businesses, closer to talent, and closer to the heart of Bharat. By 17 city presence, I must say that we are a lot more closer to Bharat than we were, say, 3 years back. And today we see IndiQube as an enabler of this India movement. As we all know, India has one of the youngest workforce in the world. We have deep technology talent. Global companies are expanding their presence. Founders are building not just for India, but for the world. Our cities are rapidly evolving. All that is happening. But to fully capture the opportunity, we need to think ahead. And India should not be only seen as a talent destination. India should become a workplace innovation destination. To give you data, as Chandra mentioned, Bangalore today absorbs maximum real estate in the world as a city. To give you data, between 2013 and 18, a city like Shanghai absorbed 28 million square feet of space. Bangalore absorbed 55 million. Comparable data, Singapore is 2 million. Bangalore absorbs 20 million square feet of space on an average annually for the last 2-3 years. So clearly the 1.0 of workspaces is going to come out of India. I don't think we are going to copy a Western model basically, and it will be all imagined built over here. And that's why the today's summit matters, because this evening is not just about discussing trends, it's about asking questions that what will shape the next decade, how will AI change the workforce, what will be the impact of geopolitics on jobs. Today, the changing geopolitics, the amount of FTA India is signing, I think they will have a very, very profound impact. And we have a session on that to talk more about that in detail, and then the whole macroeconomic environment. How will enterprises build resilient organizations? How will cities compete for talent and investment? Today we are seeing a lot of healthy competition among states, which is a very good thing happening. And how will workspaces evolve from physical infrastructure into experience-led platforms? And how can India lead this transformation, not follow it? The last decade changed how we look at work. The next decade will change it even more. My hope is that today's summit helps us leave with sharper questions, better perspectives, and a clear sense of what we need to prepare for. Because the future of work will not be shaped by technology alone. It will be shaped by leaders, enterprises, policymakers, founders, and investors, and the people in this room who are willing to think ahead and build with intent. Welcome to the future of work. Yeah, thank you.